This is any town, USA, just like your town. Here we see everyone going about their normal business. There's the Rockwell family and young Jane Rockwell. And there's Mr. Rockwell. Like many Americans, Mr. Rockwell has a secret. He's a member of a secret society who perform rituals in secret every week. Tonight, in a city, town, or small village near you, millions of men and some women will wear uniforms with strange occult symbols on them. The meetings will be held in utter secrecy. Only those who know the correct handshake and passwords will be allowed entry to these rituals. Ancient rituals venerating the memory of King Solomon of ancient Israel will take place. Hymns will be sung, which contain the names of gods and evil demons. Medals and swords will be awarded to members who attain the rank of knight, prince, duke, or even grand dragon. This film is about the global network of people who are members of secret societies who, either knowingly or unknowingly, are members of the Brotherhood of the Beast.
Let it begin.
The Persian Gulf is not only rich in oil, it is also rich in ancient wisdom. Long before Muhammad and the birth of Islam, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Iran, and also Iraq were the home to thousands of mystery schools. Iraq was once the home of the Sumerian, Chaldean, and Babylonian empires. Anthropologists describe the early belief systems of Persia and Siberia as shamanism. Shamanism is the common root to all the world's greatest religions and cults. In the ancient world, long before Christians, Jews, and Muslims formed their sects in Jerusalem, there was a belief in the spirits of nature and the spirits of the stars. To ancient man, we were all spirits, inhabiting physical flesh and blood bodies. Not only did each man have a spirit, but all animals too. Even trees, mountains, and planets had spirits. In order to see these spirits in the mind's eye, mystics the world over began experimenting with various hallucinogenic plants, roots, mushrooms, vines, and flowers. Ancient peoples believed that these hallucinogenic plants were the key to unlocking a cosmic spiritual world, to be able to see the invisible, to be able to see the astral world. Shamans taught that the spirits of our ancestors and animals and plants were knowledgeable in all things. If you were ill and consulted a shaman doctor, it was the doctor who drank the potion, not the patient. The shaman doctor would then summon spirits of ancestors who would psychically look into the body of the patient. In another case, a spirit of a plant may make itself known to the shaman doctor and volunteer to be the cure. Welcome to the strange world of shamanic magic.
Si weet weit ina una.
Kop ze na ta na bafuin.
Eish, shine noes kedonas. Na bwe deftan, ma vone vis pepe dam.
Eish. Ednes don. Natan kwai as bau no abe. Det baksaj ni fish ma beded. Shande Shane.
Aridona, Avampo.
In the Persian Gulf, a particular form of shamanism developed, which was called the working of the chariot. This form of shamanism gave birth to Judaism, which was taught at mystery schools in ancient Babylon, which is today's modern-day Iraq. Latin was, and still is, the language of the royal political religious elite. Spirits were conjured upon payment to the magician and summoned to give information on enemies and even cause direct harm to individuals or even an entire army. John Dee, along with other magicians and Kabbalists such as Abraham the Jew, were employed by the royal elite right across Europe. Their roles in the secret history of the royal political elite predated the present trend of employing remote viewers and clairvoyants in the CIA and Her Majesty's intelligence services. It is widely known to everyone from the CIA to the Romany fortune tellers in seaside towns across Britain that spirits know all things past, present, and future. The techniques for summoning spirits include strange vocal sounds, which were often repeated, causing the magician to get out of breath and enter an altered state of consciousness. The most famous magical text for summoning demons is called the Goetia, which instructs the magician to make howling sounds whilst calling out the names of the demons in the hierarchy of hell. In medieval Europe, the Goetia became known as the Book of Howling. Sound is one of the most important elements in magical spells. To this day, modern science cannot explain the fact that certain melodies, harmonies, and pieces of music can excite the emotions of a person. Spirits are likewise emotionally excited with certain sounds and tend to gather into a temple or house wherever particular sounds are heard. Sound can be used to increase emotions, and at Waco, Texas, and Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, sound and music have been used as a torture weapon. The sound most commonly used to summon spirits is the secret name of God, Yod-Ha-Vah-He, which has been incorrectly translated by Christians as Jehovah. Another, even more secret name for God is the Shem-Ham-Forash, which Moses recited in order to part the Red Sea. The full version of Shem-Ham-Forash has 72 letters, exactly the same number of evil spirits which are described in the most famous grimoire, the Goetia. Similarly, Buddhists and Hindus on the Indian subcontinent recite mantras in order to attract spirits. The most famous sacred sound in the Himalayas is Om, considered to be the ultimate mystic sound. Large groups of monks gather to chant the Om, and in doing so create a psychic atmosphere in the temple, as the entire building and surrounding mountains vibrate with this ancient sound. In India, there are spiritualists who claim to be able to see the shapes produced by certain sounds in the ether of space. Modern science has confirmed that each planet and star broadcasts sounds in frequencies which the human ear cannot normally detect. NASA scientists have recorded the sounds of the planets. Many of these droning and humming sounds resemble the Om mantra of India and the chanting of Jewish Kabbalists. In Alaska and Europe, there are experiments taking place which broadcast microwaves into the atmosphere, which cancel the natural vibrations of the solar system which reach planet Earth. The most famous of these projects is run by British Aerospace in Alaska at the HARP research facility. harp uses technologies invented by Nikola Tesla. Tesla devised a transmission system which resonated the ether. Some authors claim harp is blocking the natural vibrations and etheric energy on planet Earth and disconnecting mankind from spiritual awareness. The sounds and words used in magical spells are designed to attract specific spirits. According to British black magician Francis Barrett, who wrote a magical textbook called The Celestial Intelligencer in 1801, just repeating aloud the names of certain angels and demons was enough to make the room fill with spirits. In 1584, the magician Reginald Scott wrote his own magical grimoire text called The Discovery of Witchcraft. Reginald Scott studied one of the most famous grimoires called the Chaldean Oracles of Zoroaster, which has existed for at least 1,500 years. This ancient text contains the so-called barbarous words of evocation. These are sounds rather than identifiable words. They consist of connected syllables which have no meaning in any known language, but are written using ancient sigils or symbols which evolved from ancient Israel, Egypt, and Babylon. Reginald Scott's book is a list of names of spirits which are to be called out and chanted in a certain order. These lists of spirit names are called litanies. Many magical texts are just simple lists or litanies of the names of planets, angels, spirits, and demons. Just like a computer program is just a list of commands, so too is a magic spell for summoning spirits. Magicians chant and recite these complex lists of names whilst visualizing the magic circle being filled with spirits. Many privately owned magical textbooks were written on consecrated vellum. Often the ink was made from human blood. Some of these books were so effective at summoning spirits that merely opening the book would cause spirits to congregate and ask, "What does the master desire to know?" Many magicians believe that the ancient sigils and talisman designs representing the barbarous names of evocation are the actual vessels in which the spirits live. Alongside the spells of the grimoires, magicians are instructed to recite psalms, which are an important part of calling demons into the temple. Just by reciting psalms, calling the names of demons, and writing their name sigils in blood drawn from the magician's own hand is usually sufficient to call a spirit, angel, or demon from the astral planes.
What now? Now, we wait.
Frankly, I think we're behaving like a pack of idiots.
It begins.
Come on. What begins?
Makata is working on you because you are the weakest link.
From his point of view, Richard, you are the skeptical one. He is looking for an easy way to break the circle.
Come on, will you? Is there anything I could say right now that you wouldn't interpret in your own suspicious way?
Richard.
It's all superstition. Black magic. Hell, I'm going for a drink.
Richard! You and I have been friends for many years, haven't we?
I don't follow you.
If I begged you, for the sake of that friendship, to do something for me, would you do it?
You know I would.
Very well. Then will you stay with me in the circle tonight? You are unafraid. I am not.
That's a pretty low trick, appealing to friendship.
Will you stay?
What else can I do?
I wish we had some water.
We have.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. Where'd you get your water from? A swamp?
What?
Taste it.
No, don't touch it.
All right, it's some fresh.
No! That's exactly what he wanted to do.
What is it?
I'm not certain, but...
What?
The lights.
Well, what about the lights?
They seem to be dimmer.
Not?
Yes.
I don't know what you're...
It's getting colder.
This is to be expected. It's only beginning.
Can't we do anything but just stand here? Isn't there any way of fighting back?
Only one.
What?
The last two lines of the Susama ritual.
God's sake, then what are you waiting for?
I daren't use them until our very souls are in peril of destruction. To do so would destroy us as effectively as it would stop Makata. It can alter time and space.
What is it?
He has given up trying to get Simon. He has sent the angel of death himself to claim him.
And us?
If he once breaks into the circle, if we once catch sight of his face,
In the city of Angers, in northwestern France, there hangs the world's largest tapestry. The tapestry depicts the multi-headed devil in the form of a red dragon, and many scenes which illustrate the final book of the Holy Bible. The full title of this book is John's Book of the Revelation of the Apocalypse, which describes the future end of the world. It was dictated to the apostle known as John, as he lay with his head inserted into a niche in a cavern on the Greek island of Patmos. The entire book of Revelation was dictated to John by spirits. The Angers tapestry hangs in the castle once owned by the Angevin royal dynasty, who controlled thrones in France and Britain. It was in this part of France that many of the grimoires were published. The door to Angers Cathedral features sigils found in the grimoires. Many churches and cathedrals throughout Europe and Britain are actually Kabbalistic magical temples masquerading as churches. French historians claim that black masses have been performed on the altars of churches throughout Europe for centuries. In Great Britain, many churches allow their facilities to be used by Freemasons without realizing that the psalms of Freemasonry are the exact same psalms which are chanted by magicians who wrote the magical grimoires. These psalms are fundamental to the art of summoning spirits and demons. Whilst medieval witch hunts forced herbalists into hiding from the Vatican's bloodthirsty inquisitions, the royal Angevin elite in France resided in their castles, studying the intense imagery of the Revelation, where the devil is a shape-shifting, multi-headed red dragon.